Welcome to today's podcast. I brought on Megan Warren. Megan, welcome.
Hi, so happy to be here.
Please give listeners a little background. Where do you live and what do you do?
Yeah, so I live in Houston, Texas. I'm a transformational health and life coach. You want me to go a little bit more into how I got started in that, or is that good?
Oh, for sure. So I'd love for you to give a little background because I feel like we all have these life experiences. Ultimately, It seems like that's what changed the trajectory. So yes, share.
Absolutely. So I originally got into the whole health scene. That's how I first started out because of my own health issues. In my early 20s, got off the birth control pill, was completely tired, did not know what was going on, learned that I had hypothyroidism and I had horrible hormonal imbalance, did not have a cycle 1 year after getting off the pill. And I thought, what is wrong with my body? Gynecologist told me that I had lazy ovaries, I would never have kids, and that scared the crap out of me. So I went on a little holistic journey and really got involved with natural medicine, saw a functional medicine doctor, and got really into my own research and discovery because I was feeling better, but I still wasn't feeling my best. And so at that time I was a teacher and I taught middle school science. And I was so exhausted just from that job. It was draining my energy. And so I went ahead and got certified to be a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, ran all my own functional lab tests on myself because I still wanted to get to the root of why is this happening? No one could tell me why my hormones were a mess and why I had a thyroid issue. And then I got promoted to what I thought was my dream job as an instructional coach for teachers. It was not my thing. We'll just say that at the same time as I was going through my certification. And so going through that process, also to mention, I was going through a divorce at that time. So it's a lot of big life events happening. Really, it's funny because I told my ex-husband at the time, you are going to F up my adrenals because of this whole divorce. Because I just knew, like from the background of functional medicine, that this was really going to have an effect on my body.
Wait, so are we talking stress?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I just want to highlight that stress. A lot of Dispenza and a lot of those teachers teach us that stress is the number one cause for getting people in the doctor's office.
Yes, it's the number one thing. And so I knew that I had a background and the knowledge because I was going through my certification. And then as I was moving through that, I really got on the path of self-development, diving into mindset work, self-love, really pouring into why is this happening? Why is this divorce happening? And with that, I gained the courage to quit my instructional coach job, started my own business in 2019. And what I started to see was there was a disconnect even with functional medicine that yes, doing these advanced lab tests can get to the root of gut health issues, hormonal issues, thyroid issues, but there's still a missing piece. And what I saw with that is everything starts in the mind. What we believe about our bodies, what we believe about our health, what we believe about ourselves is really the root of what's causing a lot of that stress on our body. And so here I am today doing both health and life coaching, and it's all from my experiences of how life is teaching me.
Well, I literally got chills and I love that because it's like, okay, we're in the right direction. But because you've experienced it and you have the background behind it, we're conditioned as a society. It's $1 billion, maybe even trillion, but it's $1 billion industry, Western medicine, and they Band-Aid every symptom with a pill. And I know people, especially thyroidism, wanting to get pregnant and all these things. And people are like, well, I just got to be on this pill the rest of my life. So can you please shine a light that is one way, but there's another way?
That's right. So I love how you said that's one way, because that is one way. You can choose to do that. You always have the power to choose what you do with your body. And, if you are choosing to stay on a medication the rest of your life, there's nothing wrong with that, but you get to question, is that the best for your body?
Mhm.
And so another route, another direction would be to look at what is the root of why you're having the thyroid or hormone issue in the first place. And really, I mean, I'm not going to go too deep into this, but what I will say is a lot of it is mineral deficiencies. The body is not absorbing nutrients the way that it's supposed to, which causes, you know, your thyroid is like your thermostat. It controls what's going on in your body. And stress is what causes the body to get out of balance. And so whether you are going through a life event or you have a symptom that pops up, you get to look at what is the root cause of that. And what our medical system today is trained in, which again, it's not their fault, this is just how they're trained, right? Is to find a solution through the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah.
And that's a choice that you can make and go that route, or you can look at a different direction, a different route that's more of a holistic approach that doesn't have to require medications. Now, what I will say, surgery, like people need surgeries, like you need stuff like that. Yes. And that's where our medical system is really good and skilled.
Right.
But there is a different solution, another way that you can start to look at these symptoms that are popping up, whether it's headaches or hormonal issues. All of that stuff is your body giving you the wisdom that something is off balance, something is not right. And what we usually want to do is beat up our bodies, hate our bodies. And if you can just start with the mind of looking at it in a completely different way and start to appreciate, wow, my body's kind of like my GPS. It's telling me something's off. How, like, what else is possible? Get curious about that. So I know I kind of went on a tangent there, but does that kind of answer your question on two different ways?
Well, for sure. But you know what came to mind is somebody, and you know, especially in our society, we live in survival mode. And so somebody might not even be aware that they're living in chronic stress. And so I guess I just want to highlight that if there's any dis-ease, ailment, a chronic something in your body. Here, I'll give a personal example. So it started in my teen years, and I had like very shallow breathing. And then like I got sick all the time, especially maybe TMI, but like I'd make out with a guy and I'd get sick. I had a very weak immune system. And then end of my teens and into 20, I was exhausted. I literally would have to take a nap on my lunches at work. Like I couldn't get through the day, and stomach things. And again, that autoimmune, like always sick. And so then it was, I think this is in like '07, found out I was gluten intolerant. So, right, food allergies is a big thing. And I'm not saying that, I mean, I still experience that when I consume it, but I know deep down there's something much deeper going on than a food allergy, right? There's trapped emotion or trauma or something that I haven't healed. So I can continue band-aiding, or I can deal with the root cause. Right?
That's right. Yes. Yes. You can band-aid it. And what that means is you're not really addressing the root of the issue, or you can address the root issue. And going back to what we talked about, it starts in the mind, and your mind, like the thoughts that you're thinking, the beliefs that you have, you know, a big one that I work with on people is body image. And I think that there's so much extremes with our diet culture nowadays, with like, oh, I cannot have these foods. Like this is toxic for me. Or it's like the extreme, you know, other end of the spectrum where you are indulging in everything and you just don't really appreciate your body or have respect for what you're eating. Those food sensitivities can have a much bigger effect on your body if you are looking at them in that way, if that makes sense. So the thoughts that you're thinking and the beliefs that you have about your body and what you're doing and how you're taking care of your health, they create an emotion in the body. And that emotion, a lot of people have food fear, you know, or what's
Guilt
another
and
one?
shame.
Guilt and shame, huge, right? Like, oh, I know I'm not supposed to eat that, but I ate that. And so that emotion is actually causing a lot more dis-ease, a lot more stress on the body than the actual food itself. And that doesn't give you permission slip just to eat that all the time, by the way. Like, food is a very foundational piece of health and wellness. I added those two words together, health and wellness. And so just knowing that emotion is actually, it does have an effect, even though we can't see it. It's creating your body, it speaks, there's energy, like we're made up of energy. And so it creates a frequency in your body, and the frequency of health and vitality is at a higher frequency than, say, guilt and shame and fear in the body. And so, yeah, that just kind of goes into like another holistic approach in the direction that we might want to go. And that will also affect whether or not you're going to want to take action or not. If you're going to want to keep eating healthy or not. And so, it's all connected.
Here's what I want to ask you. So somebody new to this, and they might be listening, and at least they're curious, right? That they're listening to this conversation, but I can also feel their inner critic going, this is BS.
Mm-hmm.
They're telling me that this hypothyroidism or, the fact that I can't get pregnant, it's coming from my mind.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let me give you, because I used to also have hypothyroidism. And what I will say is I believe that a lot of hypothyroidism and thyroid issues are caused from suppressing your voice. You being a people pleaser. So can you resonate with that? If you are listening right now, like, do you express yourself freely? Do you say what's on your mind? Do you people please? Do you shut off how you're feeling and feel like you need to suppress, close off your expression? Because your throat, that's how we express, right? We communicate, and that's exactly where the thyroid gland is. So yes, thyroid issues can be caused from not eating enough or over exercising, being deficient in different minerals and nutrients, but there's also that missing component of how you show up, how you stand in your power. Or if someone has taken your power away sometime in your life, whether that's from trauma, whether society has taught you when you show up at work, you just do your job and you don't say what you're really feeling or stand up for your needs, that also has an effect on hypothyroidism. And so that's an example of, your beliefs that you have about yourself, the thoughts that you might be thinking, and how you feel when you're doing everything for others and you're not making time for yourself.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And great explanation. Thank you for that. So now I would love to kind of go to the flip. You did this work on yourself, and now you're fully immersed in it and you're teaching it. Can you please kind of paint a picture? What is life like now with this mind-body connection, creating ease and flow and alignment? I think that's a fair word.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Well, it started with my health, as you just learned, right? What I will say is when I started to really dive deeper into the mindset work, the self-love, learning how to express my emotions in a easy way, I saw a transformation in every other area of my life, with my relationships, with my work. So starting my business in 2019, if I would have started from the place, which I kind of did start. I mean, I've been learning as I'm going. And if I would have started from the people pleaser Megan, because I used to be a chronic people pleaser, no, I would not be in alignment. I would be doing things in my business that didn't feel good. I probably would just still be doing functional medicine and not adding this extra layer of component of mind-body connection to it. Yeah. But when you are so in tune with your intuition and the wisdom of your body, what your body's telling you, you start to awaken, you start to get clear, you start to feel better. You start to feel those emotions that you are really seeking from things externally, more joy, more bliss, more happiness. Yeah. And I really feel like it's spirit, it's God, it's the universe, whatever you choose to believe, speaking through you so that you are actually doing what you're intended to do here on earth. Yeah. And that's just, I mean, I know that's deep, but for me, it was really learning how to make this connection that we're more than just a physical body, that our mental health, our emotional health, our spiritual health, all of it's connected and all of it has an effect on our physical body, that really woke me up and really made me say like, oh my gosh. And this has now changed every other area of my life, and how I am in my relationships, and how I am with work and with my clients, and just appreciating life more fully.
So I'll even share from personal experience, because it's not just philosophy, it's not just theory, that the mind, when we change our internal, the external changes too. And so from my personal experience, for me, business has been what I call personal development on steroids.
Oh yeah.
And I have had to face self-doubt, imposter syndrome. And I recently looked at, my payment gateway platform. And not only is it such a visual graph, but I can see, like in 2018, when I first opened that to now, and where I was feeling, because I know where I was, it started going up and I'm making money. And then the next year I double it. And the next year I doubled it again. And then I crashed and burned. And I crashed and burned and literally made none, because I was in so much procrastination, self-doubt, questioning, could I do this? Up until I had my back up against the wall that I was going to have to get a 9 to 5.
Mm.
And my soul was like, that's not an option. That is I love the saying, you didn't come this far to only come this far. And so all I did, Megan, was shift it and practice what I preach. And I'm telling you, in a very short period, a couple of weeks, I had a post go viral. I had this huge influx of people wanting to work with me, but it was because I created belief and self-worth and confidence, and I was consistent, and it all started in my mind.
I love that. And
Yeah.
I have similar stories just like that with my business, with my finances. At one point, me and my husband were in so much debt, and that was scary. It was
Yeah.
really scary. And I had to change my relationship with money. And
Yes.
so the same thing with health, like it literally, if you start to change your relationship with whatever that is you're hitting up against, whatever challenge, the challenge changes. And that's where it really starts with the mind. It's not about, we're taught in society, we're programmed in society to find the quick fix, to do all the external things. When you start a business, you have a long to-do list. When you start a health journey, it's eat this, exercise, sleep, all of these things. You know what to do. I know that people listening know what to do. But do they ever talk about how you start to really change a relationship with what you're trying to fix? No. And that's how my approach is different. We start there. We start with, how is the relationship with your body? How is your relationship with your finances? How is your relationship with your relationship, the one that you're wanting to be better? Whether it's your spouse or your sister or whatever. It starts there. It starts in the mind.
So that's a perfect example. Something I have an intake form for clients is what I call life assessment. And that's why I love using this, because I just want people to rank 1 to 10, totally satisfied or it really sucks. So I can see where their pain point is: the money, the health, the finances, the mental health, and that negative mindset. Because, like I believe you're saying, it doesn't matter the area of life. It's the same formula, the same method, the same procedure, because it all begins up here. And when
Mhm.
you shift this, I like how you said something about when you shift whatever, the challenge changes. How'd you
Yeah.
say that?
When you change your relationship with
Thank you.
the challenge changes.
Yes. And so that's why, people think if I just go make more money, then I'll be happy. If I get into a new relationship, that no, you will. No, I realized, as an example, let's talk relationships. I kept chasing the same kind of guy with a different face. And then I realized I was the common denominator. Why
Mm.
did I keep having the same experience?
Yeah.
So until again, self-worth was a big one for me, or doubt or feeling insecure, whatever, until I felt full and confident and loved myself, I was never going to attract that and find that in somebody to give that to me.
That's right. Yeah. The same, I mean, it's what is that relationship going to give you? What do you think it's going to give you? Happiness. It's going to give you acceptance, and it's going to give you love. And really, the transformational work starts with you seeking that you finding that within yourself, you tapping into that, which is already there. We're just not taught how to tap into that. And that is what makes you magnetic. That's what makes you attractive. That's when you attract the man of your dreams, the clients of your dreams, the health of your dreams, everything. But it's first seeking that within yourself first.
I love the saying, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are.
Yes.
And that can go in any area of life, money, relationships, wealth, health. So I'd love for you to talk more about the holistic mind body. What are your methods? What are you teaching? And what are your own daily rituals?
Yeah. So first of all, my method, the method that I was trained in, looks at 3 steps. And the first step is awareness. And so a lot of us are moving throughout our days unconscious. Our subconscious is running the show. 95% of what we do is unconscious. And so the first thing is really bringing awareness to what's going on. And this is where coaching is really helpful, because we see as a coach your blind spots. Me and Heather, like we can see what's going on that you might not see because you're walking around in your life all day, every day. So first is awareness of seeing, what are these beliefs that I have? What is going on? Even awareness of, if you're looking at your health, for example, what are you doing? What are you not doing? And, finances, what is your system? What's your strategy? Where, just bringing awareness, bringing light to the situation. The second step that I focus on really is the acceptance phase. And what that means is, if you are hating whatever position you're in, if you are trying to starve yourself skinny, or, grasp onto your money to make more, whatever you're doing, that is not helping your situation if it's coming from fear. And so, the next stage of the model is really learning how to accept. And I don't just mean like sit on the couch and just accept what your issues are, your challenges. It's really learning how to work through them from a relaxed nervous system state. So nervous system regulation is part of my process. If you're constantly moving in a fight-flight state where you feel chronic stress, you're not able to think clearly. You're not able to take action from your higher self. And so that's part of the acceptance stage, is really looking at how can I start to regulate my nervous system. And I'll go into some practices that I do in my day to regulate my nervous system, and what I teach clients to do too. But the last stage is from that place, when you feel calm, centered, at peace, higher elevated emotions, you then move to aligned action.
Okay.
And we call this aligned action because it's not just action. We don't just do things to do things, but what is best for you. And this is why I don't focus on a cookie cutter approach. Coaching is not a one size fits all. Health is not a one size fits all. Your relationship you're in is not a one size fits all plan or strategy. Really, I teach my clients how to tap into their intuition and take the next best aligned step based on what season they're in and what's best in their life. And this is teaching you how to create a transformation and tools that you can continue to use throughout your life. So you're learning life skills. Some of the methods that I use every day, I do this method called BEAM, BEAM, myself every morning. And I just kind of came up with it myself. It's an acronym, BEAM, beaming the light, because we're all, I feel like, supposed to shine our light every day. B stands for breath work. So I do breath work every morning to help move the stuck energy in my body, clear my body. The E stands for EFT tapping, which is emotional freedom technique. And this also works on the energy meridians in the body. A is acceptance. And so I bring in gratitude at this stage of like really pouring into gratitude of everything in my life now, past, future, when I'm calling in, bring in a little manifestation there, right? Like, so that A is a very broad umbrella of what are the things, maybe I'm in a resistance that day. Like maybe I'm like, oh, this sucks. This is a horrible day. Like what's going on? How can I bring more acceptance to what is and stop wishing it away? And then the M is meditation. And so I'll end with the meditation, calming my nervous system. And so all of these really do help regulate the nervous system. Breath work, EFT tapping, they all regulate the nervous system. And just to give you all a little bit of background with that's what pretty much what stress does to the body is it causes a dysregulated nervous system, which causes you to move from a sympathetic state, which is fight flight, to a parasympathetic state, which is rest and digest. And the body is able to heal when it's at rest. It's able to digest food when it's at rest. And so if you're in this constant fight flight state and you're chronically stressed, going back to what you said earlier, if you don't even know it, how are you feeling majority of your day? That will give you a clue if you are in constant fight flight mode. And so, if you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm stressed, or I have anxiety, or I just don't feel like good, I'm tired all the time, that will show you that you're probably on sympathetic state, which is fight flight. And so that kind of gives you a very, I hope I answered both. I think I've answered both of your questions, but it's very important to regulate the nervous system for your health and for your life, because you're able to be more clear and take action from a cleaner, clearer place when you do that.
Versus that hustle grind mentality, make shit happen. I'm like, that again,
it doesn't work.
That's one way.
I've tried it. I've tried it plenty of times.
And I love the saying that life is always happening for you. So I just want to give an example. You were talking about calming the nervous system. I'm currently literally experiencing this because I'm training for my second triathlon. And the last time I did one was 3 years ago. And swimming is not my element. And I am finding in the pool, like I'm a very stressed breather. It feels very panicked and fear, and I'm rushing. And it's like, Heather, who are you racing? We're just in the pool. We're just taking laps. So I am learning that swimming is actually going to be my greatest gift. Because swimming, I have to be so present, and it is the breath work, and it is calm, cool, nice strokes, taking a breath. So I'm learning that's crazy, right? But swimming is bringing me a lesson.
I love that. And you hit the nail on the head whenever you said that's going to be your biggest, I think you said your biggest gift, right? Or something along those lines, because it really, like those challenges, you grow during those challenges. Can you say the same? Like when you have gone through life challenges, I know I have, it has built resilience, it has grown me. And it also, what I'm so grateful for, and I get emotional about this, is it has allowed me to have a greater capacity to help others in multiple areas of their life because of it. And so looking back, that's where you grow. And it's like a time to be grateful for it. And so I know you will look back at that, and that's so fun. I love that you're doing that.
Well, and for me, I've definitely learned, I'm a runner. I love running, and most people hate it, right? Physical feeds. Yeah. See, and physical feeds are where I created that belief. And again, the experience that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the body will achieve. And for me, running has been my moving meditation, but running has created that mind-body connection and the resilience and the persistence. But I enjoy those physical challenges because I get to experience rather than theorize. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, so something I want to touch on, because we still have a little bit of time, because this is always the fun stuff, right? You mentioned, and I wrote it down, magnetic. How do we step into being this magnetic energy? Because I truly believe that we can do anything we desire. And something you touched on before we started recording is it's already within us. Mm-hmm. So how do we tap into that, become these magnetic beings that we are innately, and have, as Dr. Bruce Lipton says, the honeymoon effect right here, right now?
Yeah. Becoming magnetic, first of all, you have to be really clear on what it is that you want. How do you want to feel? What does that look like? And the second thing is embodying it. An embodiment means a feeling that you have in your body. the sensations that you feel. And so think about a time, if you're listening, like think about a time that was really exciting in your life, something really good happened in your life. How did that feel? How did that feel in your body? That is when you are magnetic, you're stepping into one, you're clear about what you're wanting. You believe it's possible for you and you are embodying it as if it's already happening now. And that's a feeling like, wow, like for example, if we say the relationship, let's use that one as an example. Like I have the best relationship. We're so in love. We are intimate on all different levels. We have the best conversations. How would that feel? How would that feel to be with that partner that knows your soul, knows you, trusts you, loves you, everything? And tap into that feeling now. You don't have to go out and have the relationship right now in order to feel that. Same thing with your health. If you're wanting to feel vibrant every single day and feel this radiant energy and health and vitality and energy, how would it feel? You know, a lot of people are like, I want to lose 10 pounds because I want to feel confident in my clothes. Okay, how would it feel to feel confident in your clothes? What would you do? What would you wear? What would you say? How would you show up? That creates your magnetism.
Okay. And I like that you never talked about the how, because I feel like most people, again, are trying to make things happen. So as an example, I had a coaching call with a coaching client just before our interview. And I think where people get in their own way is he has this dreamed vision to build this beach house. And he's like, okay, here's my 6-year plan. In 6 years, you know, we can go start building it. So we can move in like 7 to 8 years, we'll move in. And I told him, I was like, it's really good. You're clear on what you want, but you've got to let go of that timeline. Like, right. It could happen much faster, much easier. The money I mean, just if we would open ourselves up into the possibility, because I never get wrapped up in the how. Like you're saying, I get wrapped up in the what. And I love how Neville Goddard says, rather than living from the end. So as this coaching client is imagining 6 to 8 years from now, I'm sorry, instead of thinking of your desire, 6 to 8 years out, you live from the end as though it's already yours.
Yes.
So maybe can you walk through, because I know you went through a divorce, you know, what were you doing to bring in, you're now married again?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I really, the first thing I did was I dove into self-love and kind of like the self-help route of really, how did I feel about myself? What did I deserve? So a lot about worthiness. And so I did a lot of that self-work and, you know, journaled a lot and just spent time feeling my emotions instead of suppressing them. And then I started to really, after I let myself feel it and go through that grief process, I started to envision, what do I want? What do I deserve? What do I, you know, like really stepping into, how do I want this to look? And whenever I was ready to start dating again, I actually met my husband on Bumble. We met on a dating app and I was not expecting that at all. My intention was, because again, at that time I was a teacher and I lived in a neighborhood where, or an area where it was just a whole bunch of teachers and all my friends were married and they had kids, and like, how am I going to meet anybody? And so I got on the app with, I'm going to go out and just have fun. I'm going to meet people, get out on the scene. Literally my 4th date was with my husband, Blake now. And we dated a couple of times and he's like, I only want to date you. And I was like, well, I don't know if I'm ready for that. I'm just having fun on here. So my energy was not about finding the guy.
Yeah.
It was really about having fun, meeting people. And that's when I believe really my magnetism stuck out to him, because he was like, wow, she's not attached to this idea that she has to find a boy to date and then marry and then have kids. And ultimately, like, I did, but I wasn't, that was not my goal. My goal was,
it wasn't needy energy, or, you know, we call stage 5 clingers. You didn't have that.
right. Right. And I really do believe it's because back then I didn't know it, but now I do looking back. It was because I was pouring into myself, building up my self-worth and not wanting to settle for anything less than I knew that I wanted and that I deserved. I wanted the amazing love. And today we have such a beautiful love. And I will say, we've gone through challenges of, personal challenges that really tested us, but we grew together because of a solid foundation. And like, because of that, our intimacy is greater than ever because we really grew together through it, which has taught me so much.
Well, and by doing the inner work, you started thinking and feeling completely different. So of course you're going to attract somebody on that same vibe, right?
Right.
That's why the whole your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yeah.
I love that. And again, it's you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So
Yes.
if you want more money, you've got to feel abundant,
Right.
think abundant.
Yep.
I love that. Here's what I want to ask you. I before we started recording, I asked, what was your billboard message you want to share with humanity? What is it?
Oh my gosh. One is your body is capable of healing on its own. And two, I would say, if I had two billboards,
Yeah.
um, everything you're seeking externally, you have within you already.
Well, and
It's
I'm
untapped
curious.
potential.
Yes, I love that. What is your focus now? Like what does the next chapter look like for you?
Oh my gosh. Really, it's two things that go together, I guess. Helping people in this way. Like, I love my job so much. I love seeing the transformations happen. And so growing, impacting more people is number one. Two is have a baby. I'm ready to start a family. And I know that that's going to be another set of challenges, and I'm ready for it. And just a whole bunch of life lessons. And I'm so grateful I'm equipped with the tools of self work and the inner work to help me through that phase also, because yeah.
Well, I love this and I love what you're doing for others. I would love to wrap up the interview, so I have a few rapid fire questions for you.
Yeah.
What is a quote or motto that you live by?
Everything is happening for you.
Yes, I believe that. What is a book you're currently reading or highly recommend?
Ooh, a book on Atomic Habits right now.
Okay,
That's
so
really
this one, it's funny that keeps coming up. I have the book. I've not, I just, I
it's
guess it
great.
hasn't called me yet, but what's a high level overview of that book?
How to make habits stick, how to make them sustainable. So if you are wanting to build new healthy habits, that's the book for you. It's so good. And the way that he writes is it's very easy to digest. It's good.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll put it on the top priority. Final question. What advice would you give your younger self?
Oh, this is a good one. Trust yourself, trust life, everything's happening for you, and be present, enjoy what is right in front of you, because it'll be gone in the next second. So just really live fully, trust yourself, and follow your dreams. Do what lights your heart and soul on fire, and you're capable of anything that you put your mind and heart to.
I love that. And such a great note to end on. Megan, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much.